Good afternoon, Canberra. Welcome back to On the Right Track. It's your host, as always, Maggie Wright. Today we're talking a bit of AFL and also a little bit of bed racing, which is a very interesting, wacky sport, which we'll get onto later. I got my mate Emma in the studio with me today. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fabulous. Having a week off and getting right back into it.
Love it. Love it.
That's it. So, getting straight into it. AFL. Look, the only thing I really know about is there's a lot of kicking,
Yes.
and it's a part of my tipping competition at my work. They've combined AFL and NRL, and I've just been getting cheeky tips off the side from my mate who loves it. So I'd love to actually be able to make my own decisions. So how many people are we looking on the field per team?
So we're looking at 18 people on the field, and then obviously you got a couple on the bench just to do some subs. So you know, players get a break. And it's pretty much, goal is put the ball through the big sticks. So you get the ball through the center of the goal, 6 points. Through the two behind areas, you get 1 point. So
there you go. So you either go for the big cheese, the big money, or you suck and go for one.
Very much so. Very much so. And it consists of, I guess, you know, you're doing weird, funky things, handballing and bouncing the ball, but then having to kick it, and you can't take too many steps, otherwise it'll get a reversal. So there's a lot of different rules and stuff that go into this great game, but it's honestly a blast to not only watch but to play as well.
Yeah, because Emma's an umpire, so that means she's extra slay. So you play as well?
I don't play, no. My brother did play, but I just went straight down the umpiring route, which I don't know why I kind of did that when I was younger, but I did that.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's good for you, isn't it?
It's fun. It's definitely fun.
It's the most important bit.
Exactly. Without umpires, you wouldn't have a game, dude.
That's it. Absolutely. So have you got any accolades to your belt that are big umpiring things?
Oh, I mean, I don't want to drop myself. But yeah, I've done some pretty cool things. I was able to do the under-16s national championships. I've done a VFL practice match, which is just on the AFL level. I've done an AFLW intra-club match, which was very, very exciting. I was like, oh, hey, guys. And yeah, I've umpired and met some incredible other umpires, as well as incredible footy players and legends as well, which is just, as a fan of AFL in general, awesome. So.
You know, that's amazing. I can't imagine meeting the rabbits. So if you're meeting all those fellas down there, so is it a lot in Victoria, or does a lot happen up here in Canberra?
So actually here in Canberra, so we have our own, like every state, you know, has their own league. And then as you get out into rural stuff, they have obviously more leagues out there. But yeah, we're a part of ACT New South Wales. So yeah, that's our gang. Nice.
So I know at Manuka, which for some people who have read it and are not from Canberra, it looks like Manuka, is where, is it GWS plays a lot, or do we have a local team?
So unfortunately, Canberra itself doesn't have a local team, but GWS is they're kind of our team. They've kind of been put on Canberra as our team, which some people love, some people don't love, but you know, it's up to you. But yeah, they play about 3 games here a season. So that's able to get, you know, the Canberra people and to get the footy fans out just for one day in their local town. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, not to put you on the spot. Do you know what GWS means? I know is it Greater Western Sydney?
That is correct.
Oh, nailed it.
Yes, let's go.
Yes. Yeah, because I know they're the Giants and they're big orange. They're the most recently created team, no?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Because I think they came and did a random thing out in the Central West. When I was like in primary school, they were like, here's a new team.
Everyone was like, oh, hey guys.
We're like, we play rugby league here. What are you trying to do?
It's like, oh, thanks, but no.
I'm good. I've just with AFL players, it seems like you have to be really tall and lanky. Yeah. Or muscly, yes, but like...
Yes, but
very
I know
tall.
what you mean. Very, very tall. Especially the ruckman, they're actually really scary. They're like 7 foot tall, and I'm just like... I'm average height, you know, I'm average height, and then they just come up to me, and I'm like, okay, So now I'm scared, but it's okay. I'm gonna hold my ground.
Nice.
But yeah, most of them are really tall and very, very like muscularly built, and as well their agility on the field is insane. Men's and women's as well. Like you see some of the women out there, and you're like, oh, you could like tackle me, bro. Like, and that would hurt. So yeah, it's really, really awesome to see that though.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about positions and different tackling styles and things in the break. So just before the break, we mentioned ruckman, a term. What does that mean?
So a ruckman, it's pretty much the tallest guys on the team. Usually you got about one or two of them. And what they do is whenever there's a ball up, so when the umpire grabs the ball and they'll throw it into the air to kind of like almost like restart like the scenario that's happening on the field. You get the two tallest guys and they pretty much fight over it. They tap it and then they try to get it to their other teammates. And they do this around the ground during the game, but they also do it at the start of the game or after a goal's been kicked when it comes back to the center of the field. And pretty much they're just jumping up and trying to get the ball from each other.
So it's like a restarting point.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So the umpire will be like, that's my ball. We're going to have a break here, guys. I'm going to grab the ball and I'm going to throw it up for you so we can just like, everyone can have an equal go at trying to get the ball. And the ruckmen, they'll go for it. So
yeah, it's a pretty big field too. I feel like I'd get exhausted running around it.
I don't know how they do it.
I was going to say, how do you run around it or do you run in it?
I'm in the goals. So I'm not
so
doing
you got
that much running.
Is it fingers? I don't know.
Yeah, bang, exactly.
Yeah.
If you like wiggle, it's like, imagine you're doing like the wiggles guns.
Oh yeah.
But just like put the thumbs down, and then just hit them with the...
I think I could manage that.
I feel like you could. It's 9 meters. Like you're not moving that far. It's just about, you got to be speedy and quick. But other than that, it's a blast, to be honest.
Yeah, you got to see like just if it goes in or not.
Exactly. You got to be like, that was a goal or that was behind.
Right. Okay. So we talked a little bit about handballing, and that's when is that when you hit it against the grass and bring it back up, or is that?
That's more bouncing. That's bouncing the ball. Handballing is when, so you've got the ball in one hand, right?
Yeah.
And you take your other hand that doesn't have anything in it, you close it into a fist, and you then punch sideways.
Yep.
You then punch the ball, and so that's how you pass the ball to another person. So, in basketball, you're throwing it to someone, or in rugby, you're twisting it back to someone. But in AFL, you handball. And that's the only way that you can dispose of the ball and give it to someone else. Otherwise, it counts as a throw, and then it'll be a turnover, and it'll be given to the other team.
Oh, okay. So, and you can handball in any direction.
You can handball any direction to whoever, to over the head, to under the leg. Like, as long as you're disposing of it correctly, it really doesn't matter how do you do it.
Righto. So, I know there's been some changes in the NRL with tackling. What's the major things about tackling in AFL?
Tackling in AFL, we're actually really serious about it because we need to be really, really careful with it. So obviously we have a thing called high contact. So anything that's like above the shoulder or that puts the head in danger, the umpire will call high contact. The ball will be turned over, because for AFL, it's a very serious thing for concussions and for head injury. So a lot of the tackling that's taught for like young kids, you got to kind of grab. You're pretty much giving them a hug, right?
Yeah.
You're giving them a hug, and then you're dropping your knees and you're bringing them to ground, and you're kind of just holding them there. Obviously, you only do this when they have the ball. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't just go around tackling people.
It's not ice hockey. We did that last week.
Oh no. Yeah, so it's not ice hockey. But yeah, it's a very like serious thing, and same with like sling tackling and dangerous tackles and stuff like that. We're very, guys, we got to tackle properly. We got to protect the head. Like these are people after all. So yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a juniors rule where there has to be headgear.
Oh, I actually don't know about that.
I don't know if it's fair. I know the NRL said, no, we're not doing that. So, I don't know. I love my headgear when I play, honestly.
I know some people do love their headgear, and I'm like, rock on whatever you want to do. Like, honestly.
Especially when I had long hair, it just kept it out of my face.
Yeah, I know that with a lot of girls. Yeah. They do the plaits and then they like put them up in the headgear. I'm like, you guys are so smart, because if I had my hair like wailing around, I think I would hit someone in the face with it. So,
speaking of that, actually, we have a lot of issues with like hair pulling and things like that. Do you guys have the same kind of issues?
I don't think so. Definitely not in the men's per se, but obviously the women's, a lot of them do have longer hair. But I feel like we're at that level where it's kind of like, just go for the footy. Like, why are you guys pulling the hair?
Yeah.
Even at like state level footy, so like here in Canberra, I don't see a lot of, like yoink. I'm like, what are you doing that for?
As someone who has been yoinked,
oh no,
it's not fun. I know some people who do their hair up in a bun on purpose, like to not get yoinked, but I feel like if I fell on my head, that would hurt.
That would, yeah. I'd be like, hey, hands and feet to yourself. Thank you very much, guys.
Well, I mean, rugby league and AFL are really not hands to yourself.
They're really not. Hands and feet off my hair, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair to say. So you stand at the goal, like the goal post. Where does the other umpire go? Because he obviously wouldn't go around the oval because you wouldn't be able to see anything, I think.
So we have 3 different disciplines. So our 3 different disciplines. So we have goals, which is I'm a goal umpire. So I stand in the goals and I signal where the ball's gone. Then you have a field umpire, who's the person who runs around in the middle of the ground. They make all the decisions. They do the ball ups. And then you have boundary umpires. And boundary umpires, they run on the boundary.
Oh.
And pretty much any time the ball goes out, so like in soccer, you have the linesman. But instead, when the ball goes out of bounds, the boundary umpire actually picks it up and they throw it in. So pretty much they have their back facing the oval, so where the players are, and they actually throw it over their head, and gets about 18 meters long, like 20 meters high, into the air, and then that's where the ruckman will be, which we talked about earlier. That's where the ruckman will be, and they'll fight over the ball for that one.
So they got to position themselves where they think old mate's going to throw it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. You're trained to a certain standard that, the ball's got to come in here. And so, yeah, most of the time it's pretty good. But yeah, sometimes you do have to get recalls and be like, hey, can you throw that one again? I'm really sorry.
Sorry, can we just...
Thanks.
Can we go again, please?
Thank you so much. You're doing great. Love you.
So, have you ever seen a kind of one where the boundaryman has thrown it in and just the 2 ruckmen have been in the opposite spot?
110%. Well, it doesn't happen as much at AFL level, but definitely here at probably local level, there are some, and it's kind of like they don't expect, this 5'5", teenager to kind of throw one in. It's like, who's actually going to throw it in for you guys? And so usually they actually stand too far in, or they'll stand too far back. And it's like, what are you doing? That's on you.
Yeah.
The boundary umpire is throwing it where he needs to, or where they need to throw it. And yeah, but no, we live. We
continue on.
Exactly. We do what we got to do.
The season has just started for you guys in the AFL. I've known because I had to put tips in it. And my mate Jess, shout out to Jess, she's a legend. She knows a lot about the AFL.
Nice.
Yes, and they were pretty spot on. I'll give them to you. Yeah.
Oh, Anya, I love that.
Yeah. She had one out on a limb, and that was the only one that went a bit haywire. But how did the first week go from your perspective?
I think it didn't go too bad. Because they kind of did a weird thing this year, right? They had opening round, but it was round 0. It wasn't even round 1. But it was really, really cool because New South Wales pretty much hosted it because they had Swans and GWS both playing games there because it wasn't all the teams that were playing in this kind of round 0 thing.
Yeah, we had a Vegas round for the NRL, so it was kind of the same thing.
I was like, you guys are in Vegas right now? What? That was so cool. But yeah, they did this round 0 thing, which was awesome to see. I guess New South Wales, which we're just going to associate right now with ACT, so therefore it was an ACT New South Wales thing. But yeah, no, it was really, really cool. And then even round 1, just when footy starts, as a fellow, even though you're not AFL, but you're still footy, just when that round 1 starts and you're like, footy is back.
Footy is back.
I'm so excited for it to be winter right now. It's something hits different, and I'm like, oh, get my dance moves out. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I love it.
I do feel that, especially with me hockey too. Hockey starts. Yeah, hockey's my season of sport. It's lovely. I love it.
Love that.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So do you barrack your team? Who's your team, or is that a hard question?
I do. At the moment, I've been a Swans girly since I was very young, because my dad started supporting them back in like the 80s or 90s. And then they won the 2012 grand final, and I was like, oh, we have a winning team. I said, sign me up. But yeah, no, so I'd been going to matches for forever and ever and ever, doing the whole face painting. You'd go there, and looking back at it, I'd get like half my face would be red face paint and the other half would be white face paint. I'd just walk around. I'm like, you look crazy right now, but you're 12, so, we're just going to go with it. But yeah, no, just that love for footy always been there. So yeah, Swannies, we'll see how they go this season.
They won, didn't they? I'm pretty sure this week, no? Or did they?
Yes.
Yeah, because I tipped the
did.
other team because I was told to.
I mean,
bit of a
Collingwood,
crime.
They were the grand final winners for last year. They were the premiers. So, I mean, valid to tip them. But yeah, no, Swans they came out on top, and it was awesome to see. So
yeah, the two teams, like if kids ask me, because as a teacher, kids ask you, what team do you go for? I'd either say the Magpies, just because I played for the Magpies back at home for hockey, or Richmond, just because like my family down in Victoria goes for Richmond. So it's like they're dead set diehard fans. When you said the red and the white face paint, have you seen the movie Chicken Little? That's a throwback.
I think a really long time ago, like 8, I was, oh my goodness.
There's a moment where Fish has red and white face paint on.
That's me. Guys, for anyone who's wondering what I looked like, that is what I looked like, okay?
I'm sure we'll look that photo up in the break anyway. I love a bit of face paint at the footy.
Oh, it's honestly one of the best things. And then COVID happened, and they kind of just stopped doing it. I think they're bringing it back now, which I'm
so they did your face paint there?
Yeah, people, it was for free. Like, people were sitting down, you'd line up, they'd do your face paint. They sometimes had, the airbrushes, and they'd do, the stencil of, your footy club, logo and stuff like that. And it was the best thing. As, a little kid, you're like, oh my God, guys, I'm going to get my face painted.
I think they did that at Magic Ground a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
When I went, they were doing face paintings there, but I've never seen it anywhere else. I've just been silly enough to have zinc or something. Like for my year 12 athletics carnival, I went as William Wallace. Half my face was blue and the other, just Braveheart, basically.
Iconic, basically.
Yeah,
iconic.
Flay, yeah, of course. Alrighty. So we've talked scoring. We've talked other rules. Mm-hmm. Now's your time to shine.
Oh my gosh, hey guys.
What do you want to talk about AFL wise that you can have a bit of rant about? Any scandals or anything you want to divulge into?
Yeah, let me tell you guys about a little scandal. No, I think it's just more something that needs to be probably worked on within the AFL in an umpiring point of view, and that would be, so we have a thing called the ARC, right? It's pretty much a score review system. It's used after every time a ball's been kicked through the behind or a goal, and they just review it just to make sure that it was the correct decision. However, the technology we have, unfortunately, isn't as advanced as it could be. Think about tennis, right? You see the ball and how they do that animated stuff about where the ball bounced and whether it's in or out. We just have cameras, and it's just slow motion. It's good, it's really good, but it could be so much better.
Yeah. It is an odd shaped ball though, if that makes sense. Like a circle, you can kind of tell, I suppose, where it's going, because they did the same in cricket. Mm-hmm. But with a footy, it just kind of goes everywhere.
Don't even get me started. The way that ball bounces sometimes, I'm like, I think that it needs a ball tracker of its own or something like that, because it's the world's most weirdest shaped ball. I think I want to put that out there, because I feel like that's
that's
totally
important
good.
information.
It's important information for anyone to know. But I think technology-wise, we need to revamp, guys. We invest so much money into all this other stuff, which is so great. But if we want to, continue to play this amazing thing that we love called AFL, and we want to, have confidence within our umpires who we love and adore, and they're awesome, we need to be there supporting them with this technology. Otherwise, you then get people just having a go at them, and it's like it's really not fair on anyone else.
I mean, I know I've umpired things before, but obviously not as much or as intense as you have. Do you cop it a fair bit as an umpire? This is your time to shine. Like,
I'm gonna go out to that one person who I think I'm pretty lucky as a goal umpire. I usually don't cop it because most of the decisions that I make, I'm kind of like, is the ball cross the line? Is it a goal? Is it a behind? Like, there's stuff that I'm confident within myself that I can do that. And as well, probably pulling the sex card here, I'm a woman as well, and I do umpire a lot of men's footy. So a lot of the time I don't actually get yelled at by the men. And even when I umpire women's footy, they're all so lovely. And I'm like, oh, hey guys. So usually they're really lovely to me. It's different when you're a field umpire, because field umpire, you are making a lot of decisions that affects the game immediately.
Like split second stuff.
Exactly. Going, all right, that's holding the ball. Or that's, it's a free kick. That's, you're making all these decisions, and obviously players aren't always going to agree with them. So that is when, they can get heckled, but it's also with the crowd as well. Crowd heckling. That is something different.
That's like just, we talked about on other podcasts, like cards and things, like we have 10 in the bin for a sin bin.
Yep.
So what's your send off like regime?
So I'm not hugely like amazing at it, but pretty much we obviously have red and yellow cards. Red, I believe you're off for the entirety of the match or the quarter, and then yellow, it's kind of like you got 15 minutes, chill out, bro. We're here in Canberra though. I believe New South Wales might be adopting it as well. We have a Y card system. Pretty much if it happens if you hear abuse coming from the sideline within where like the teams are, what are they called? Like the little, why do I want to say cubbies? That is
like dugouts?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is it a dugout? I don't know.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's the AFL terminology of that.
It's the cubby.
Exactly.
I'm going to call it that next time in hockey and see how they look at me.
But yes, if you hear abuse coming from the sideline with that area, you can actually give them a white card, and it's pretty much a warning. You don't say anything. You just show it to them, and it's pretty much being like, I've heard abuse coming from this area, whether it was a player, a staff member, the coach, no matter who it was coming from that area, there's a white card. I'm giving you a warning. Don't let it happen again.
So what happens if you get a second one, or is it a different colour card?
So it's the same colour card. It's just we put it in the match report, and it builds up over time. We're getting better this year with the system, but yeah, it's pretty much like not on, guys. There'll be a warning. There can be fines. There can be you're not going to be coaching or playing for a little bit, because it's a serious thing. But yeah, no, I think that's something that's really, really important that's been added to our local level footy comps, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, awesome. So one question I have had on my mind: how big is the field? Do you know? It's big.
It's big.
I went to the MCG the other day.
It's big.
It's big. It's big.
It's big.
It's big.
Obviously, depending what footy fields you go to, they can be different. Some of them can be weirdly shaped. Some of the sidelines can be excessively large, and some can be excessively narrow.
So it just depends where you play, really.
Exactly. So it's an oval. It's supposed to be an oval shape.
Yeah.
It is about, what are we looking at? Probably about 200 meters, because on either, I'm trying to maths right now, guys. It's not my first skill, okay? Leave me alone. But you have on either side, you have two 15-meter arcs, and then you kind of have like the center square, and that's probably another like 50-ish meters.
Yeah,
or
so
60.
About, I'm trying, 80 total? Or is that what you're saying? Or?
50 on either side.
Oh, 50.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said 15. That's my bad.
No, 50 meters.
Oh,
50.
shush.
So yeah, we're looking at a bit under 200 meters.
Yeah, I was about to say it can't be smaller than rugby league because it's 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's at least, yeah.
Like
almost double.
that's just how it is.
Yeah, and then it's like a 400-meter running track on the outside, usually something like that.
Yeah.
Well, at least for local level. You go to AFL, it's like that's like double. It's like huge. And I'm like, you guys can run on that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thanks.
I'm good. So to finish off the podcast today, we're looking at bed racing, which I believe you have to build your own bed in this time, or do you build it beforehand?
You build it beforehand.
Okay. Righto. And it's on wheels.
It is on wheels.
Because you have to race it.
You do have to race it, and it'd be a bit difficult to race it without
Without
wheels. Yeah.
How long is the track for bed racing? Is it like a standard thing? Do you know?
I believe it's about like 3Ks or something like that. I don't know like what the conversion is, because I believe it kind of takes place, I think, in like America.
So 3 miles, is it?
Yeah, but I think it might be 3. I don't know, something along the 3 lines. Yeah. Okay, something around there.
Why can't they get on board the metric train?
So much better.
It
so
is.
much better, guys.
Like, not how many cores bald eagle makes over the over the Tower of, not the Tower of Liberty, the Statue of Liberty. Just offended all my American friends.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Don't come for us.
So do you get to is there points for like style, do you reckon, or is it just the functionality of how fast you go?
I think there's like a theme every year, and people like dress up. Like I know one year some guys dressed up in like cow suits or something like that. And I was like, get it? Like onesies, like cow onesies. I was like, okay, get it, I guess, guys. But yeah, I think there's like a theme, and they kind of go around that. And I think they can involve like the bed within the theme as well. So yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Because look, with themes, I have seen someone have an Errors party. And look, Taylor Swift's latest world tour was called the Errors Tour. And someone came in a lovely period dress. And like period is in the 1600s, I think. So like a lovely elegant gown, and everyone else was like, love a bodysuit, and I'm gonna dress like Taylor from 22
Reputation album.
It was look, I'm a rep girly through and through. It's tragic, I know. I'm waiting for Rep TV like everyone else can wait.
It's like we're just sitting here patiently. Okay,
we've got the new album in 5 weeks?
Yeah, very very soon.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
To get some new stuff. Back to bed racing.
Yeah, bed racing.
Which is always how this segment goes. So I wonder if there's any like world records for how fast people have gone.
I feel like surely there is. Like, because I don't think it's not just like a basic, like flat, like track course or something like that. Like, we're talking like up and down hills. Like, there's gradients. Like,
okay.
So you got to like get...
You got like the mud. You have to push it.
I think you have to like push it over a river or something like that at the end. Like, there's something at the end. There's always like a plot twist or something at the end.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like something difficult. I'm like, how do you get a bed on wheels over water? Like, okay, like, all right, get creative, I guess.
So we'd have a person driving technically on the bed.
I feel like that person would just be
just chilling.
Like, but also you're putting your trust in 6 other people.
Oh, so it's 6 other people?
Yeah, so
3 each side, you reckon?
Each side,
okay.
Yeah. So like you're trusting these people to not like fling you off a bed. Like, imagine you just go flying.
It's making me think of the Lorax just quietly when they put his bed in the water.
Oh my goodness. That would be a good theme. That would be a really good theme.
I'm about to say I've just had a thought for the question of the week. No one's answered it still yet, and we're in the 10th episode, but feel free to DM me at ontherightrack.podcast on Instagram. What bed would you create? What design of bed would you create for bed racing?
Guys, this is so important.
It is.
You have to let us know.
We want to know. And if someone does actually answer the question, I will acknowledge it the next week. I haven't acknowledged anything yet because it hasn't happened. But that is okay. We've reached the end of our time today. I'd like to thank Em for joining me in the studio. It's been a wonderful time today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome having a chat.
Yeah, it's always good fun here. As always, feel free to DM me how you thought this podcast was at ontherightrack.podcast on Instagram. I'm working on getting some other stuff done, but as we all know, uni gets a bit interesting. Thanks for joining us again. If you joined us during the radio hour, or if you joined us somewhere random in the world, because I've sent you the link to it, thank you for joining in, and we'll see you in the next one.